Welcome back to Heart Path Podcast. I'm your host, Terra Kenzie Longacre, adventurer, author, transformational coach, and retreat leader. In each episode, we will explore topics around spirituality, empowerment, divine embodiment, resiliency of the human spirit, and heart-based business and beyond. In this episode, we're going to talk about mindfulness for mindset shifts. So to have mindset shifts or to create mind shifts or to come into the space of mastery of the mind, can we just say that mastering the mind is not controlling everything that you're thinking about? It's not like being domineering to the mind and to the thoughts and to the feelings. When we are being mindful, there's intentionality, there's purpose, there's presence in what we're doing in each moment. And you might find that so often there's so many distractions all around, and the phones, oh my gosh, like scrolling, 3 hours go by, or you could be having a list of things to do, but you're doing everything but what's on the list, right? Where you just kind of, your attention gets pulled, or like there's so many things to do that you don't know where to start. So you either don't start or you start all of them, but then you don't finish any of them. and sometimes as well, it can be really overwhelming if the mind is not on your side, if the mind is not supporting you, if there are negative conversations that are going in your mind, negative self-talk, even like those beliefs that can cause a hindrance for you, the limiting beliefs that could pop up for you. And once again, mastering the mind is not controlling. We don't need to control our thoughts. If something comes into your mind of, oh, you'll never be able to do that, that's impossible, whatever those voices are, whatever those stories are, you don't want to laughing is like, you don't want to have a chokehold on those thoughts. That's almost, I was getting a visual of like Homer Simpson strangling Bart. Such an interesting visual, but of like, to do that to the thoughts that might be coming in your mind, or the thought patterns and processes that you have. Like, we don't want to be domineering in the mastery, because the mastery comes from the mindfulness, the mastery comes from the intentionality, the mastery comes from knowing that you can have your thoughts, you can have your ideas, you can have patterns or beliefs that don't support you, and at the same time, you don't have to subscribe to them, so to speak. So even think of having, your mailbox, you've got emails coming through, and to put it in that perspective, you can unsubscribe to different newsletters, you can unsubscribe to different thoughts, you can unsubscribe to things that might have been in alignment with you before, or you could have had ways that you were thinking about things before, and that changes. So one thing that has really been coming up lately is the impermanence of everything, that everything is temporary. So even the thoughts, the thoughts won't be there forever. The thoughts can change. And some of you might be thinking, well, I've had this frame of thought for a really long time. So you might have just had specific programs or stories in your mind replaying. Or I feel like if we're critical on ourselves or judgmental on ourselves or being really hard on ourselves too, where is that coming from? Right? Where is that coming from? Is that coming from you now in this moment? Is it coming from you in other versions? Is it coming from people that are connected to you? Are they like these stories that are just not from this now moment coming to infiltrate you and your presence? And that's a piece of it too, to become aware of that, because you could just be in this cycle or this loop where these feel like they're your thoughts. They feel like they're your stories. They could even at times feel like your truth, but they might not be, right? They might not be. But when you're unaware or disconnected in different areas, you might not be able to see that or understand that in the moment. That's why mindfulness is so important. And what I'm saying, it's like mindfulness is intentionality. Mindfulness is purposeful. And when we're talking about intentionality, we're not zoning out, right? Autopilot can happen so easy. You're just going through the motions, doing the same things you do all the time because it's what you've done, it's what you do, it's what you will do, right? Or even within your family, it's what's happened, it's what is happening, it's what's going to happen. But that narration of these stories can change too. And the autopilot can be very dangerous. Being in autopilot mode can be very dangerous, even though there's elements of it that are familiar, even though there's elements of it that bring you comfort because you know it inside and out. You don't even have to think about it. And see, that's dangerous too. When you don't even have to think about it, are you fully purposeful? Are you fully present? Are you being intentional if you don't have to think about it? Because we can know things inside and out, but at the same time, we can be present with it too. Like presence is powerful. Presence is powerful. And it feels like we are in a world that is fighting for your attention. In a world where we were talking about dominance, right? In a world that wants to dominate your attention. And to combat that is through the mindfulness. And once again, it's not controlling the way you're thinking. It's not you dominating the mind, like it is none of that. But it's taking back your presence. It's pulling your presence back to you in this now moment and in every moment. And sometimes that's not always easy to do. And we could even say a lot of the time, that's not always easy to do. Because when you're present and when you're mindful, you know what's going on around you, you know what's going on inside you, you're connected to that and you're feeling all of that. Once again, in a society of escapism, we see this. We see this. It's distractions, it's escapism, anything but here, anything but being here now. And that makes me think of that Ram Dass book, Be Here Now. What a beautiful title. Be here now. And now, and now, and now, and now. Like every moment being here. The more that we're present, that's when we're, if we even want to say, in our power, the more, but presence has power. So beyond even being in our power, you could say presence has power. Because when you're present, you're connected into this now moment. When you're present, you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. When you're present, where we're saying presence has power, you've got the power of choice because you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Do you see? There's so much repetition in what I'm saying, but it's important to convey that. When you're present, you are living your life. When you're present, you are living your life. We're not hooked in to, if we want to call it the Matrix. I'm laughing now so much more about that. Like the expressions escape the Matrix, we got to ascend on out of Earth. Like Earth is part of the ascension. Being here is part of the ascension. We're here to be here and live life. Like that's the whole thing. You're trapped in the quote unquote matrix if you're not present with your life. If you're walking around unconscious, if you're walking around asleep, we could even say, Yeah, then you're hooked into that domination that we were talking about for your attention, because you're not here. You're once again going through the motions, doing things because everybody else is doing it. Why are they doing it? I this just feels like a whole other sideway that we're going, or another tangent. But it's like, what? Why are they doing specific things? Like, if you're looking at the collective and you're just going through the motions and doing what everybody else is doing, why are they doing it? So is it the blind following the blind? Is everybody sleepwalking, like following each other? And I know you know what I'm talking about, because we've seen it. We've seen it and we see it. So when we are mindful, we're not doing that. We're being purposeful. We're being intentional. We're being presence. Authenticity is currency. Presence is power. There's that expression as well. Knowledge is power, but knowledge is nothing if it's not practiced. You can have all of this information in you. Knowledge is power. Could we dare to even say presence? I'm gonna say it. Presence is more powerful than the knowledge. Because what good is the knowledge if it's not being embodied? What good is the knowledge if it's not being actualized? What good is the knowledge if it's not being shared? What good is the knowledge if it is regurgitation? What good is the knowledge if it's knowledge with no substance? Presence? That's here. That's now. That's living. And even as I'm saying this, it's almost, there's like this fiery feeling coming up, because we've fought so hard. We've fought so hard as a collective and even as a species. Like, we're very primal. Human nature is primal, and it was survival, like the survival instincts, food, clothing, shelter, like being here now. And we've gotten complacent. We've got luxuries. Oh my gosh, so grateful for the luxuries. But the luxuries can dull down the senses. The luxuries can make things get super comfortable. The luxuries can bring you out of the present moment. The luxuries can bring you into the present moment as well, depending what they are. But the luxuries of what we have, especially in North America, where I am, and I understand not everybody is in the same space to have luxuries, so I know that it is a privilege to have them. However, as a mass majority of society, especially in North America, it's like comfort is the first choice. Comfort over truth, comfort over presence, comfort above all else. Comfort over helping other people, comfort over being present in life and living life and having nourishing relationships. I love that we've just now twisted this. We're just going to bounce all over the place. Choosing comfort over truth, choosing comfort over contentment, choosing comfort over God's plan for our lives. Because that at times feels like the easier pathway, where you can just have a little nap. You can get the pillow, you can be nice and comfy and just curl up and breathe and have the nap and be here but not here. And I don't know about you, but I want to live as fully as possible, even if it's painful. Even if there are those painful moments, I would rather feel the deepest heartache. For a perfect example, to love so deeply and have yourself shatter into a million pieces than to have never loved. Like, that's the kind of life that I want to live. To be able to experience it to the fullest, to that mindfulness that we're talking about, to just be in the present moment and to enjoy it. And the mind can interfere, the mind can trap us, especially when there's those negative thoughts that come in or those old stories. I hear this time and time again. Oh, I can't even count it. I hear it time and time again with clients. And it's just that the old narratives just start to kick in. They could be doing really well, and then, you've got that voice that's not even there. This voice that comes to creep in and stop them or sabotage them or get them to sabotage themselves. I've been there. You've been there. Come on. Like, we're going to be real here. You've been there too. And if we're not present, remember, presence is power. If we're not present and if we're not listening to that divine guidance that is available to us and communing with God, Source Divine, we can at times spiral, right? You could just believe it. You could take to hear those thoughts, to have those thoughts, and just go downward spiral. But it doesn't have to be that way. Mindfulness it's almost like you hear the thoughts, you have a feeling, whatever's happening for you, but you're aware of it. You're aware of it. Because awareness is the key to shifting anything in your life. I say this all the time. Awareness is the first step. Once you have awareness, that's where you can start to pivot of, oh, okay, this thought is here. Wow, where did this come from? Where did that thought come from? Is that your voice? Is it a teacher's voice from elementary school? Is it an ex-lover or partner? Is it a parent? Is it a sibling? Like, whose voice is that? What is that voice? What is that story? And how does it pertain to you now in this now moment? Because things could have happened in the past, but it doesn't mean that they're going to keep perpetuating themselves in this moment. They will if you believe they will. They will if you open up a doorway to feed those thoughts. But once again, it's the mastery, it's the mindfulness to stop yourself and say, and this is not to like reject, just like, I can't think that. Like, we're here, we're human. Stuff's going to come up. Stuff is going to come up. However, to stop and to pause and hold yourself, to witness yourself in this now moment. Do you see where we keep going back to now moment, presence now? So to hold yourself and to witness yourself in this now moment and ask, if you've got an old narrative, an old story coming through, how does that pertain to you right now? Ask yourself. And it might feel strange, it might feel weird, it might feel crazy, like, oh, I'm going to ask. But I say, yes, ask yourself, ask and you shall receive. So as you witness yourself and those thoughts or those feelings or with the stories, the old narratives that are coming up, ask, how does this pertain to me with who I am and my life right now? Where did this come from? And if you're open, right, it's open heart, open mind, and you might not get that answer right away. It could come lightning fast, where you're like, oh yeah, that was from the such and such a time. Or it might require to sit with it for a little bit longer, but we're not going to be taken prisoner by the thoughts or to be dragged down that downward spiral we were talking about. And the more and this is the whole thing. Mindfulness comes from presence. So the more present you are and engaged in life, the more that mindfulness is there. You might find yourself not having as many intrusive thoughts or narratives flying around your mind. Not to say it won't happen, it can. It very well can. But it might not surprise you in the ways in which it did before. It might not catch you off guard or instantly like you're held captive to the stories, to the narratives. So we've talked a lot about presence. Presence is power. And could we even say presence is a currency? Saying authenticity is a currency, absolutely. But presence is a currency. Presence is your time as well. Presence is your attention. And where we were saying, it's just like there is this programs going on that are coming to pull your attention away from you, to distract you, because it is powerful. You being here now and present is powerful because you're engaged, you're aware, you know what's going on in your life, you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Dare I say, even more passionate. You may have more passion and zest for life because you're engaged even when there's hardship, even when there's challenges. So our presence is a form of currency as well. And where are you spending it? What are you sowing your presence into? That expression, reap what you sow. Where are you sowing your presence? And what is starting to grow? What is not growing from that? Perhaps out of everything, this is important too for that mindfulness. Where do you want to sow your presence? Perhaps even what do you want to reap? What harvests do you want to reap? Do you want joy, love, peace, abundant life? Like, is that what you want? Is that the harvest that you want to reap? And where is your presence? Because we have to, like, if you are, oh God, like for gardening, you need to watch the garden. Weeds are going to come up. You got to look after that. Watering, so much watering. But nothing will grow or flourish. It'll grow, but like what you want to flourish may not if you're not giving it any time, care, and attention. So think about it that way. The more that you're putting your attention, your presence, the more you're feeding into that. So where are you wanting to sow? What are you wanting to reap? Where are you wanting to sow? And being intentional about it. These are just a few seeds to be planted around mindfulness and presence and the mastery of the mind, which is really the engagement and being fully in this now moment and living. That's where all of the mastery comes. So what seeds are you planting? Where do you want to sow? What do you want to reap? How do you want to be? Why? Lots of love. Mwah. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And before you go, I wanted to offer you an opportunity for reflection and contemplation. Was there anything that we talked about in this episode that inspired you that you can use moving forward? If so, what was it? Was there something about this episode that made you feel uncomfortable, charged, maybe even triggered? Was there anything in this episode that left you feeling seen or understood? Taking a moment to bring those into the sacred space of your heart or to journal. And I'd love to hear your reflections and how this episode impacted you. You can reach out to me on social media. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share with a friend, comment, subscribe, all of the things. I appreciate you. Lots of love. Mwah.